Okay, Zurim says, yes, Father, could we talk about the chooser and the sense of choice, please? Yes. It's very good that we look at this concept of doership, of choice, very deeply, because upon this is one of the main legs of the ego to stand on. Without doership, without the sense of doership, the ego cannot survive. Therefore, the most important question is first to ask that I say that I am the choice maker or decision maker or chooser, but as what am I saying this? Who is the choice maker? What does the choice maker look like? If I'm so clear that I must be making these choices, then we must be clear about I as who. It is only after the belief that I am an individual person can this belief come that I as an individual person am making these choices. But if you slowly look at the process of how the choice is made, you will see that the person is not involved in any way. So we can look for in what is the stage of the choice making where the person gets involved. Even if we were to presume that the person is real, can we figure out how the person actually makes the choice? And we can look at it together if you like. We must look at what is this decision making that we believe that we are doing. In fact, a large part of the satsang we had, in-person satsang we had last Saturday, was about this. So who can tell me how we make a choice? Really slow it down, look at exactly what happens, and then how you make a choice. What is the beginning? What is the beginning of choice making? And we'll give some time for the lag, and I'll wait for your answers. Meanwhile, let's read what else is there. Cornelia says, so it's a kind of energy wrongly used, so it's better not to use. Yes. That's a nice and simple way to put the energetic way of looking at the mind. Yes. Cornelia says, thank you, something is melting, time to cry. So SK says, first it is confusion or doubt about two choices, which is good for me. Yes. But even before this confusion comes, there must be a thought that is believed in. What is the choice? So if it is about choosing between two jobs, it could be like, I must quit my job or I must join some other place. If this thought had not come, would you be making a choice? Ustream of 56 says, Father, I love you too. Julim says, believe a thought that is telling me I have to do something. Exactly. And now what way did you create this thought? How do you manufacture a thought? What tools do you use to create this thought? Most of humanity believes that they are the creator of their thoughts, that they are the thinker of their thoughts. But we never looked at this very basic thing. In what way did we create it? So we are saying that if the thought had not come, then the concept of this choice would not be there. And what did we do to create this thought? Is it not true that thoughts are flowing on their own? When being is here, then from this being itself, or in the presence of the being itself, thoughts seem to be flowing on their own. Just like the clouds in the sky seem to be coming and going on their own. So believing that I created a thought is just like believing that just because I can see a cloud, I must have created it. Very good. So SK says, that's true. First, belief and thought that says the current situation is not acceptable and change is needed. But I see that this thought is about the person. Very good. All thoughts are referring to you as the person. There is no thought which truly refers to you as being or awareness. Even when it tries to do that, it can only say that as a person you are now beingness, or as a person you are now awareness. Because the mind cannot fathom beingness or awareness. It can only fathom what comes after it. And this is true for all appearances, isn't it? So at the root there is awareness itself. After awareness there is the birth of beingness in awareness itself, made up of awareness itself. and beingness cannot fathom awareness. Because it is prior to it. Then after beingness is there, then the world appears, then first actually the mind appears, and then the world appears. And since the mind came later, the mind cannot fathom the beingness also. And awareness is completely an unknown concept for the mind. Just like the grandchild cannot talk about the circumstances in which the grandfather was born. He can only speculate. The same way the mind can only speculate about the nature of our being. And when we start believing this speculation, then we call that the intellectual understanding. So what we are saying is, come to your true nature of what you are, which is beyond the speculation of the mind. So coming back to choice, we see that first a thought came. So the thought could be that I must change my job. The real fun starts when a contradictory thought then comes and says, no, you must stay. Then we have the apparent illusion of choice. But we did not create either of these thoughts. It is consciousness itself, in the presence of which these thoughts emerge, and consciousness itself which will pretend to be a decision maker, and consciousness itself through which all the actions will happen irrespective of what the decision was. So we've seen also this many times in our life that we might have decided something, but when the time comes, we do something which is exactly the opposite of that. Therefore, it is only an illusion of decision making, of choice. Life is just unfolding in its own beautiful way. Atma says, yes, Father, I hear you. Thank you. Something censored is very clear. So the first thing to understand is that how can there be a decision maker which is separate if we have seen that the separate person itself does not exist. So with that itself, this concept of decision making or choice should get cut off. But if it doesn't, then we can look deeper into the process of choice making also, and see that it is just a collection of beliefs that we carry about ourselves having to make a decision or a choice. And with this, choicelessness is full power actually. It is not a powerlessness. The mind will convince you that if you are not making a choice, you are powerless. but what it is referring to is the person. A person without choice does not have much meaning, and that's exactly what we are saying in satsang, that we remove this important aspect of false meaning that we have been giving to this person by looking and seeing that all is unfolding on its own. So whatever we feel we must decide, we can forget about it. You can just let it go. Forget about it. If something is convincing you that the real world is separate from the satsang world, and in the real world you need to make some choices, then don't believe that thought. This is just the mind's way of keeping you entangled more and more.